Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. May the peace of Christ be upon you. Um, Tonight I want to go into my interpretation of Genesis. Having an artistic background, Genesis 1, the creation, it calls it the generations of creation. And it just explains how God created the heavens and the earth in, six six days, and then he rested. A whole bunch of people think that there was a pre-adamic race. There was not a pre-adamic race unless you're talking about what was created before man, which was just the animals. That's the only thing that I can find for a pre-adamic race. It does mention that Lucifer was in the Garden of Eden, that he was a snake. Pre-adamic race, right? Um, and I have a Dake's Anointed Reference Bible. Is right here. You can see how I barely read this thing, man. Tell you the truth, I think it was a waste of money for my dad to even get it as a gift. So, and then here's my Bible. This is just the King James Reference Bible. I literally stole this back whenever I was 18. Had no idea why I stole it. I just did. I was a thief back then. And some people believe that, you know, in Second Peter 3, it talks about, you know, a pre-Adamic race and a heaven and an earth before what we have. And they are taking this so far out of context that I don't even think they know what they're reading, because I have tried to find it and find it and find it. And here's what they go off. If it says in 3:4, 2 Peter 3:4, it says, um, and saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of creation. For this they willingly are ignorant of, that by the word of God the heavens were of old, and the earth. So what do we have back in Genesis? In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. That's what that's referring to. First, first day of creation. Let's flip over to Genesis real quick. And it says, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Huh. So, where God's at, the third heaven, if you're an artist, um, first thing you need to do is flip on a light. And God said, let there be light. And there was light. Now, if you're looking at a blank canvas in which the Bible is referring the blank canvas as like where God's at, the third heaven, there is a separation of the heavens that we see compared to the heaven where He's at. He is floating above the face of the waters. The waters here are basically the face of the deep. So the whole of creation, the universe, as we call it, everything which the Bible refers to it as firmament, um, yeah, firmament, was filled with water. This whole place was filled with water. And then we read, oh man, lost my place. Hold on, guys. Back in 2 Peter 3, it says, and the earth standing out of the water and in the water. So therefore, God knows where He's going to place earth in the universe. Yeah. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Come on, guys. It's not hard to understand. And then it says, whereby the world that, okay, first off, it says standing out of the waters and in the waters, then colon. It means stop. And now I'm going to explain something else. Whereby the world that then was being overflowed with water perished, colon. He's talking about the world before the flood of Noah in this section. He's not adding it to the creation. And then it says, but the heavens and the earth which are now by the same word are kept in store. So this talks about our earth after the flood. So it talks about creation, stop, flood, stop, our world, stop. Never found any kind of proof for a pre-adamic race unless it was animals. Never have. I mean, if you're an artist, you understand the concept of having a blank canvas and how if we believe that God is an artist, a creator, then you know that you're going to have to flip on the light sometime. And he's seen that it was good. And then we see God looking basically at this orb of water, hovering over this orb of water, which we call the universe. And he picks out a place, and like it says, God is omnipresent. I mean, it says that he's measured out the universe with the breath of his hand. So therefore, it does have, it's like a sphere, man. So it says that he hovered over the face of the waters, but at the same time, he knew where he was going to place earth. And it said that he separated the waters from the waters. So basically, earth was just without form and void. It was just a globular of water. Sorry about that. I ain't trying to flip no like secret hand symbol or anything like that. But so God is in heaven and God is on the earth. He separates the waters from the waters. And then it says that the dry land appeared. Appeared where? On the water. Now, if you're into astronomy, they have actually found globulars of water floating around in the universe that could basically wipe out our whole solar system. So therefore, God created, the earth out of water, a globular of water. I mean, it's so easy. It's self-explanatory. If you have any kind of background in art, like I have, man, I in school, in elementary school, I took art class all the way up until I was in advanced placement art and in studio art. So I understand the concept of an artist creating. First he designs it out of his mind. He knows where he's going to place it. Boom, he places it there. Now this is on a massive scale. It ain't some little bitty scale. It is a massive scale. Look how big the universe is. So then we read, hold on, let me open it back up. And God, and let me just read it all. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Deep and waters are the same thing, man. He's talking about the universe. And God said, let there be light, and there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And some people will tell you that, well, it was utter chaos before creation. No, there was no chaos, man. God doesn't create out of chaos. God creates out of love and peace. If you understand the character of God, there is no chaos in God. None. I mean, we can drive him nuts to where he's like, man, you know, I got I gotta do something about my kids getting all wacky tobacco. Um, and it says, and God saw the light that it was good, and he divided the light from the darkness, and God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day. That was the first day of creation. It's so self-explanatory. How are you getting a pre-adamic race? It's too simple to understand that to understand that. And so let's move on to the second day. And it says, and God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. It's so easy. Earth was made out of a globular of water. And it says, from the waters which were above the firmament, and it was so. Oh, and God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the water which were above the firmament. And if we read about what is firmament over here in 14, and God said, let there be light in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night. He's talking about space. The space that's in between earth and heaven is called firmament. He separated the waters that he was floating on up here from the waters that he created the earth on down here. And that space in between, that's firmament. That's outer space, man. That's the universe. I mean, this is just my interpretation of it. Coming from an artist's background, from the time I was in third grade till the time I graduated. I mean, God's an artist, man. He creates. So, and then it says, and let there be for lights the firmament of the heavens to give light upon the earth. There was no pre-adamic race except for animals. And then it says, here, hold on. And God said, let the waters under the heaven be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear. That's earth. Was created from water. And God called the dry land earth, and gathered together of the waters called he seas. This is talking about the water that is on the earth. There was great seas. There wasn't oceans. Oceans didn't come about until the fountains of the deep broke open. Basically, the water under the crust of the earth came through the crust of the earth. And God said, let the earth bring forth grass, the herb yielding seed, and the fruit tree yielding seed, after his kind, whose seed is in itself upon the earth. And the earth brought forth grass, and herb yielding seed after his kind, and the tree yielding fruit, whose seed was in itself after his kind, and God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the third day. And then on the fourth day, and God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. So therefore we know, and let's read it, and let them be for the lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, the sun, and the lesser light to rule the night. And he made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the fourth day. And God said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creatures that hath life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament. So therefore, now we got creatures or animals being created from the waters, the seas. And God created great whales and every creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind. Is that the pre-Adamic race that you're talking about? And God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters and the seas, and let the fowl multiply in the earth. And the evening and the morning were the fifth day. And God said, let the earth bring forth the living creature after his kind, cattle and creeping things and beasts of the earth after his kind. And it was so. And God made the beasts of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth. Now we see that God's creating animals from the earth itself. And God, hold on. Well, yeah, here they are. Give me a second, guys. I'll grab my readers, man. The older you get, right? Okay, here we go. And and God made the beasts of the earth after his kind, and cattle after their kind, and everything that creepeth upon the earth after his kind. And God saw that it was good. And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion. Let them have dominion. See? Male and female have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So God created man in his own image, which man, if we go down to what man is, it says Ish, which is just the name for man, which, you know, after the fall of man, that's when Adam gave the name Eve to Eve, woman, Ishahana. Now, Shah, Isha, Ish and Ishaha, which is woman, man and woman. I mean, we're basically the same kind of creatures. But there was no pre-Adamic race, man. Where you guys are getting this, the pre-Adamic race, and that there was a world before Adam and Eve. I mean, yeah, there was. It was 6 days of creation, or 5 days of creation. That's it. There's no secret. I mean, the world. There is a technique in art that you can use to make stuff look older than what it is. I forgot the name of the technique. I'll have to research it someday. But you know, there was no pre-Adamic race. There was nothing like that. I mean, unless you're literally meaning the fish of the sea and some of the fowl of the air, and then God creating the cattle and all that stuff on the 6th day along with us, with some more of the birds from the earth. I mean, I don't understand how you guys are even getting the fact that there was a pre-Adamic race ruled by Lucifer. That boggles my mind. How are you guys even seeing that? It's like you're almost making it up. If I'm wrong, please show me, because iron does sharpen iron. But from what you're telling me is that there was a totally different world. God, death death and corruption didn't enter into this world until after man fell. So why would God destroy a world before if death and corruption and sin didn't enter into the world until after the fall of man? I don't know, just my thoughts. Thank you guys for tuning in. I love you guys. Like I say, Jesus loves you, man. Have an open heart towards everybody. Love God first, above all things. Then you love your neighbor, man. That's one of the keys to this world is love. Just love one another. All right, thank you for joining me. Hopefully this will help you. Hopefully it'll get your wheels turning in your head, and hopefully you study it out. All right, God bless you. Goodbye.